Well, welcome again, YouTubers. This time I'm joined by Elayna.
Hello, everyone.
Together we're doing a top up Courage the Cowardly Dog episode list. Now, this is the top 13 episodes I can think of. And these pretty much are, in my opinion. Which means, sorry, you're not going to see Perfect, Freaky Fred, and the scary violin girl, or even Return the Slab. But you'll find out that what I have on this list is might actually surprise you. Let's begin with number 13, which is The Ride of the Valkyries.
Okay, so the family well, not moves, but they go to, what was it called?
Scandinavia.
Scandinavia.
Norway, Sweden, Denmark.
Yeah, there. Anyways, they go there for a holiday, for like, for vacation on a holiday, and well, they meet Vikings. This is hard. I'm sorry. I wasn't born around the time when they made the original oh my God, Courage the Cowardly Dog. I'm sorry, guys. He knows more about it than I do, but I do know that it was disturbing, mildly funny, and quite well. It's hard to explain because he was around when they made the original, and it barely plays these days now. So I'll let him take it from here. I know the second one on the list, but I'll explain that. But I'm not saying it. Anyways, I'll let you take it from there. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Basically, Muriel, Eustace, and Courage are in Scandinavia for their vacation. While Eustace is, of course, rumbling away because the foreign TV's not working. And Muriel and Courage go bird watching. And they come across this, what I assume it to be a duck. Or dodo, because it acts so dumb. The whole episode. And while they're, I guess, studying it, Muriel reads that it's a messenger of the Valkyries. Now, if you don't know what a Valkyrie is, allow me to refresh some of our memories. A Valkyrie is a Norse variation of the Archangel. Basically, heavily built and heavily armored, women on horses who take the dead up to Asgard, or they can eat until they're satisfied and fight it for all eternity. But anyway, back to the story. There's some weird coincidence. It's a trio of Valkyries come across this very same bird. This time it's wearing a Viking helmet, and due to the hair color that's attached to the helmet, they mistake that their, I'm guessing, leader has been abducted. And through a case of mistaken identity, they abduct Muriel. In confusion, and as she kind of resembles their leader, I guess. As Courage follows them to their hideout, which apparently looks like Stonehenge. And I gotta bring this up, but the trolls and the Valkyries in this episode don't exactly speak normally. It's kind of like an opera. next episode. And the reason why this episode's at the bottom instead of higher up is because while the first half of the episode's entertaining and funny, the second half is kind of like Romeo and Juliet. Because as it turns out, the king of the trolls and the Valkyrie leader, or who apparently went missing in all this time, have been secretly in love with each other. But because this is a strict no-no, in both societies, they hate each other. And basically, Courage plays the minister during this little wedding, and what more can I say other than and Valkyrie and Troll wedding. Oh, and like in every other episode Odysseus is a part of, he gets some sort of comeuppance because he's on a spit being turned by that same stupid bird. And for number 12, Night of the Scarecrow. Not to be confused with the book from Goosebumps.
That's what I did. Anyways, I can take it from here.
Good.
Okay, so I'm sorry guys, we're eating our dinner. So the family the family were at a country fair and they left.
County fair.
Sorry, I need glasses. They were at a county fair and they were chased away by a bunch of crows. Wait, no, not crows.
Yes.
Crows. Okay. And well, their car crashed into a scarecrow, and Courage and Morel decided to. Did I pronounce that right?
You're close.
I'm sorry. Again, this is a very old show. But the two of them decided to take the
Oh,
scarecrow
boy, I've got some news after all this.
home for protection of their garden, like scarecrows are meant to do. And they soak him off, and the scarecrow starts talking. And so, yeah, the scarecrow starts, like I said, they bring it up to use it for the garden, and it starts talking. But it tries doing what it's supposed to do, scaring away birds and stuff, birds and aliens, but without, like...
Apparently it's too wimpy.
Yeah, it's, Scarecrow goes crazy, basically, and kicks... How do you pronounce the man's name?
Eustace.
How do you... I'm sorry, I have a really short memory. Kicks Eustace's butt, and,
Basically, it converts the house into a fortress, complete with a mechanical dragon head that breathes fire if you try to open the cellar door.
And then he locks Muriel. I can't pronounce it. I'm just gonna call her M. Then he locks M.
You know what, Elayna, from now on, just call them Grandma and Grandpa.
Fine, thank you. Grandma was locked in this.
I'm sorry, but this is going to take forever to keep saying that way.
I'm sorry, folks. I'm such a dumbass. Anyways, Grandma gets locked in the basement so she won't hurt herself.
Not quite. Apparently the Scarecrow thinks the environment they're in is too dangerous for Muriel. Well, then again, in other seasons, what has happened so far? She's been possessed by a demonic mattress. She's turned into a werewolf. Oh, she was being controlled by a pair of duck brother aliens. As she turned invisible, she grew a gigantic size from eating a radioactive carrot.
Again, creepy.
And the usual.
Yeah, normal things. Anywho, so they eventually escape and they go into Grandpa's truck. Oh, shut up.
I'm not saying anything.
You're laughing though.
I'm not. I'm just smiling.
So they go into a rampage into a cornfield basically, and
Courage calls in a bunch of crows to try and take up the scarecrow.
they calm the scarecrow down, and
He ends up giving hay rides.
yeah, at the county fair. I pronounced it right this time every day. And
What are my thoughts on this episode? It is good. I will say that. It does kind of, bring that little cliche lesson in on being yourself and trying not to be someone you're not. In the case of the scarecrow, if you can't really scare anything, what's the point of trying to scare something? Instead, find a new little hobby. Not to try and make yourself intimidating to the point where you are the villain. And from what I remember, he kind of goes through this little workout montage. That's where even he's practicing in the mirror. He's saying, "I am bad, people fear me." He basically has a mantra to make himself scarier.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but really in every episode of the Courage the Cowardly Dog, there's always like some sort of lesson behind it.
Something like that.
Yeah. It's trying to tell you something in a very disturbing and funny way.
Oh, don't worry, there's plenty of that. That later on. As for the scarecrow himself, I find his voice somewhat familiar. Or from what I remember. You kind of have this Boris Karloff-esque voice. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's the way I see it. Anyway, on to number 11, which is the Quilt Club. I'll take this one. And Muriel, Eustace, and Courage go to this fabric store. Meanwhile, Eustace has a cold. And can't stop sneezing. And when Muriel and Courage are met by the Siamese twin sisters, and boy do they look creepy.
I've seen that episode. Truly have.
Apparently there's a quilt club up in nowhere, and she wants to join. The sisters, or lady, asks Muriel if she's sure enough if she's wanting to join the club. And basically she comes up with all these interesting quilts. She makes a truck cover, she makes one the size of a football field. And finally, he gets into the club. But there's one last thing she must do. She has to sew a particular pattern into this quilt in order to join the club. As it turns out, it's kind of a dark spell, which basically traps her inside the quilt. And this is shown bluntly as they're literally sewing her into the quilt.
Yeah, that's what I remember. These
And
very scary.
Muriel's not the first one who's fallen victim to this. There are at least 5 or 7 other women who also fell under the spell of this quilt.
Excuse me for a moment.
Oh, Kurt saves Muriel basically by sewing in memoirs or memorabilia of himself and Eustace, as which actually breaks the spell. And not only destroys the quilt, it also sucks in the 2 hag sisters, or is imprisoning them in a sheet of fabric that's, strangely enough and coincidentally enough, is the same size as a piece of Kleenex. And to make things even funnier, or in the end, Eustace blows his nose on them. Now, on to number 10, which is Dome of Doom. Or as I like to call it, a parody of, well, a cross parody of Little Shop of Horrors, Biodome, and I'm trying to think of, oh yeah, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Because, well, there are killer plants in this. Sick of having no food, Eustace calls in this science dome that'll literally grow their food under any condition. Rain, snow, heat wave, I don't know. And there are 3 specific plants. There are tomatoes, pea pods, and the heads of either rice or cabbage. Like, nothing. But, as it turns out, the plants aren't exactly what they seem. As Kurt finds out by reading in a packet of the seeds, it says, and I quote, ingredient, it's snakes, hornets, piranhas. Basically, these are plants that would make a bee's fly trap that look like a common weed. And apparently, since they're attracted to smell, Eustace's smelly feet, they immediately start attacking. And what it goes to show you, when it comes to food, it's you or them. And I won't spoil the ending for you, but I will say this. One of the ways Courage tries to get rid of these killer plants is by dealing the plants with their own natural enemy, a herbivore. And this is in the form of a cow. And like you would expect for the cow to try and eat the plant, I know she's here.
Sorry guys, it's our cat.
And off screen, the plants basically eat it, and it's left as a skeleton. You know, for kids. Oh, don't worry, there's got to be plenty of stuff like this. Now, let's move on to number 9, which is house calls. And this one is kind of interesting to me because it's kind of a predecessor of Monster House in a way. Or at least in the second half of the episode.
Okay, so a character is in there, Dr. Gerhardt.
Yeah.
He wanted some neighbors. Looks like it. He has an old house that scares everyone away, or fends them away. He brings the bags from next to his house. Gerhardt's house is destroying the bag's house or home. Courage basically has to find a way to help this poor man out to get some neighbors, basically, before his oh, I gotta stop stepping on it.
Well, she needs to learn to stay out of the way.
Anyways, yeah, so Courage needs to find him some neighbors that'll accept him for the way he is, and, well, before Mr. Gerhardt's house destroys the bag's house. Take it away.
As for my synopsis of this episode, basically the same, except from what I can recall, Gerhard is actually a music doctor. And he actually he uses music to bring the Bag family's house closer to him. And this is because he has no neighbors. And I think it might have something to do with his house, which is very possessive. Like somebody I know.
Sorry, Annie.
Oh, and while they're at his house, it turns out that the place isn't exactly happy that there is another house next to it, especially one that's more well kept, shall we say. I think this is because mostly Gerhardt's blind, and he can't really see.
Oh, so music is his way of luring others in.
Oh no, he doesn't exactly lure him in. He just brings him in.
Okay.
He's not doing it as a way of being evil. He's doing it because he actually wants neighbors. And basically, like Constantine in Monster House, Gerhardt's house tries to destroy the Bag farm, and by any means necessary.
Sorry, his cat wants my ice cream.
Give me a second. I'm trying to remember where I was.
Oh, destroy the Bag's house.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
To stop it from demolishing it, Courage and Gerhardt basically remodel the house. Which actually silences it and calms it down. It is then named in the most beautiful house in nowhere by, well, the mayor. Meanwhile, the Bag family house is in shambles because it's been attacked by.
the evil spirit of the other side of that house or whatever.
There's not much else left to say about this episode, other than it is weird, or in a way. I don't know exactly what the lesson is, but number 8, Food of the Dragon.
Well,
Another episode that has the lesson: try and be yourself. Don't pretend to be something you're not.
and it starts out in Grandma and Grandpa's house with their puppy, and
Yes, she is going to be saying this the rest of the episode.
I'm sorry. I'm just being enthusiastic about it. Yay! Anyways, so the family has seafood Sunday, and
It's in a theme of pirates.
so the Courage is playing an instrument or whatever with his,
Accordion.
his eye patch on and his pirate hat on. There's black eye patch and a green material on his head. He's holding a wooden stick for some odd reason. And Grandma comes out. Seafood is ready! But everybody likes Seafood Sunday, and well,
Apparently they're not the only ones.
yeah. But so as Courage sits down, he sees something like green walking outside, just circling the house, kind of. And he notices it's a dragon. And,
It's not like the kind of dragon you'd expect. Not like Spike, Maleficent's dragon form, or Mushu. But what's the best way of describing it? It's kind of like a poor man's version of a sea monster. Or exaggerated big webbed feet, with thin ears, there's webbed hands, and a crocodile-like mouth.
and of course, Courage tries to tell everyone, and no one listens, and you know what Grandpa says? You dumb dog! And it always turns out Courage is true. But, as we get further into this story,
Dragon bursts in, while Muriel has her head covered in a bucket. And the dragon eats Eustace. Ow.
the damn man deserved it.
Like, Eustace, where are you? I'll go score.
So,
And basically the dragon chases them until they get to a radio tower where it's attempting to fly. Okay, you have no wings. How on earth are you going to fly? You're not exactly a Chinese dragon. You can't fly. And without wings. What is your plan?
well, of course, magic.
Apparently as it's struggling to fly. And it's literally struggling. It's like, for some odd reason, Muriel feels sorry for it and try to talk to it. It's like, nah, I'm going to do what I want, not the way I want. And it basically knocks down the tower, tries to eat Muriel. Courage is stalling for time.
Like he always does.
And by basically trying to trick the dragon, and by literally showing like an expiration date under her hair, or saying and that she smells bad. I know when you're trying to help Courage, but that's kind of taking it a little too far.
And it's expired.
And the dragon basically tells him, I don't even care if she's radioactive. I'm going to eat her. And basically, Courage kind of makes a deal with the dragon. Again, if he can figure out how to make it fly, he won't eat Muriel. And of course, Eustace butts in and with, "Alright, get me the hell out here!" And basically, Courage tries all these little attempts to make the dragon fly, which includes wind tunnel, little beanie hat that's used with remote control. But of course, all this fails. And the dragon basically chases them up until they get to a lake. They dive into the water. Apparently, the dragon doesn't like water. Or they think they're safe, but nope, there's another one. But apparently this one, and there's one eat them. As apparently it's a fish eater. Or what is he doing? And as this dragon's telling them, this Courage comes up with an idea. Maybe that other dragon, which kind of looks like this one, then eats fish. And with a fish popsicle. Okay, I don't know where that came from. Courage takes it to the dragon and tries to give it to him. It's like, "I don't eat fish, I don't eat humans. What are you, nuts?" He tries it, and he actually likes it. A lot better than humans, apparently. He asks Courage if there's any more, and of course, you want it, you have to come and get it. And reluctantly, the dragon goes into the water and realizes that his puny wings aren't wings. And as it turns out, this other dragon that Muriel and Courage just met is actually the one and that's been chasing them, and his brother, or long lost brother. As it turns out, the lost dragon brother was adopted and raised by flying dragons. Okay, I'll buy that. I'll also buy the the stomach door gimmick, where he takes out Eustace and throws him in the water. And while they're finishing the rest of their seafood sundae, we see another dragon flying through the air. Eustace tries to swim away, but of course, ow! Damn dragons! And actually, I like the flying dragon sign a lot better than the water dragons. I don't know why, I just do. But let's move on. We're like halfway down on the list. And the next one is Squatting Tiger Hidden Dog. And this one actually takes place in China. My turn.
Go on, it's all yours. You take the stage.
This time, the Bag family visits China. And you know that one guy that always shows up saying, "Watch where you're going, you fool!" Yeah, he basically steals the episode in this one. Because his aunt is an evil empress who apparently wants to steal Muriel's bones for some weird reason. And throughout most of the episode, Courage is away and needs to get back to her. In the meantime, there's this other woman who's actually helping him. I went away. But there's some lessons that he is to complete in order to achieve his goal. And these come in an order. First, he has to save a little child from a tiger. He does this by basically talking the tiger into eating him. And while the tiger is chewing him up, Courage basically it relaxes and melts in the water. And reforms again. You know, this is Courage. Every dog, he does this sort of thing a lot. The next lesson involves blow darts shot by some unknown assailant, and as he uses them to make a bridge across the other side of the cliff. And the third lesson is use your opponent's strength against them. And he does this by confronting a Chinese dragon. Why not? It's China. And I take that back. I like this design a lot better than the water dragons, because they actually get one little bit right in its design. And Courage defeats it by using its own fire breath against it.
Wow.
Yeah. And the whole time, and this is going on, the woman who helped him out has always been around as some sort of form. As either a dragonfly, a moth, or bird.
Have you noticed that in almost every single episode, the title is called Courage, Cowardly Dog, and the two words that stick out is courage, cowardly. They are the exact opposite of each other.
That's what you call irony.
Yeah, but it's like at
Or
the beginning
oxymoron.
of the episodes, like Courage is this scared ass dog, and then at the end he puts on his big boy pants and he slaps the shit out of everything. It's like boom, he's done with everything. He's cowardly in the beginning, and then he builds up the courage to beat off the enemies or something.
And in this case, he uses the lessons that he's learned to defeat the evil Empress. And as it turns out, the woman who's been helping him was the good Empress. Afraid of what his other aunt would do, the guy puts back Heckner's bones. All wrong, apparently, because as where one of her arms is a leg. And we finally cut back to Eustace. He's half eaten by a tiger. Yeah.
Always half eaten by something. Or completely eaten by something. Either way, he's eaten by something.
Or tormented by something.
Mm-hmm.
And number 6, it's Serpent of Evil River.
Okay, so this one is the family, you know. And so basically, to sum it up, they meet a pirate. The pirate forces them to
No, not forces. Shanghai's.
head down in one-eyed serpent in South America. And this serpent is what the title basically is, Serpent of the Evil River. It's in an evil river, so.
Actually does have a name.
What's that name?
Carmen. Mostly because it sings opera. More specifically, the opera Carmen. As for its design, it is pretty interesting. And like the Loch Ness Monster, supposedly, Carmen isn't exactly an evil creature. She just wants an audience. It's the pirate who's the bad guy, apparently. And while all this is going on, Eustace is left on the boat, being tormented by monkeys.
Of course. We all know he's a moron.
Oh yeah, that's okay, because when they were looking for the serpent, hers was tied up and being harassed by a seagull. So, Courage basically technically defeats the pirate by having Kermit and finish her song, which causes a stalactite or stalagmite, whatever the rocks above a cave are called, to plummet down, forming a sort of cage around them. And at the end, we cut to Eustace as with bananas in his ear, herbs wearing the skirt of bananas surrounded by monkeys. Now we come to number 5, and this is probably one of the most heartwarming episodes.
Oh, Courage when he jumped Poppy. Or flashbacks, anyway.
It's also kind of one of the most depressing.
Yeah. Looks like it. Okay, so Courage.
Remembrance of Courage past.
Yeah. So Courage sees a missing dog ad, and on the back of a milk carton, I think he like.
And we cut to a flashback from when he was a puppy.
Yeah, and how his owners loved him, and one day he got his.
No, his parents.
Oh, well, his parents. And then he got his head stuck in 2 gate posts. Parents took him to the vet.
That's their doctor.
Creepy. Anyway.
Creepy. If you got your head stuck in a fence, we'd take you to a doctor.
We'd use butter. Anyways. The veterinarian frees
If
Courage.
you got that, good for you. Never mind.
Oh, for sliding my head through the...
No, use butter.
Oh, yeah, I have gotten my head stuck somewhere and use butter. Slides up quick, you know. Anyway, so the veterinarian gets his head free and then talks to his parents privately.
No, wants to speak to them privately. And when he says that, it's a disturbing close-up of the doctor's head. It's like, I would like to speak it to you both in private. At the present day, Kurt remains in his seat the entire night.
Turns out the vet is a mad scientist working on an experiment involving sending dogs into space and breeding them in space. Little Courage. Attempting to save his parents, but he's chased down by a garbage truck by the vet. He watches his parents get blasted into space, and when Granny found him, she took him home. He goes into shock, so Grandpa,
They decided to take him to the vet, which triggers another flashback.
Let's see here.
Again, cut back to present day. And, well, you know, it's the same vet.
Yeah, the vet tries to use the same evil plan, and, well...
Long story short, Courage doesn't get sent into space. Muriel and Eustace don't get sent into space. The vet gets sent into space.
Yeah.
And is basically ripped apart by the very dogs he sent up there, including Courage's parents, who are still alive.
Yay, sweet ending, heartwarming, and depressing at the same time.
Yes, it is very depressing.
Puppy story. Okay.
And it does kind of bring up what the opening of the show basically says. As Courage was abandoned him as a pup. No, he escaped. And was orphaned. And there's a difference. On to number 4, which is Heads of Beef. The story starts as Muriel is sick, but Eustace, being the ass that he is, wants her to cook. She's too weak to cook and sends them to get her or something. And reluctantly, Eustace agrees to this, and of course he has to take Courage.
Damn dog.
And they pass by a billboard that says burgers real cheap. Of course, Eustace thinks about himself first. They go to this diner literally in the middle
of nowhere.
No, yeah, exactly, nowhere. And the owner of this particular restaurant
is Jean Bond.
What?
Yeah.
That's not how you say it.
How do you say it?
It's French. It's Jean Bon.
Damn it! I can't pronounce French.
You know, I can.
I am Chinese.
Who is literally an anthropomorphic pig? Okay, there's 2 things wrong with that so far. One is that it's a pig at a burger place.
Creepy.
As who owns it. That's 1. And 2, we're already kind of creeped out because as he's wearing a bloody apron. And there's another man in the meantime. And he finishes his meal and asks where he can find the room or whatever. John Bond tells him it's behind the door. He disappears after a while. And meanwhile, Kurt and Eustace get their burgers. As Kurt picks up a ketchup bottle and attempts to put ketchup on his burger, he notices that there's a face on the patty. And it's the same face as the guy who just left. Kurt basically sneaks off to the door, which leads to a basement. Wait a minute. Trailer that has a basement. Bad idea. Again, I've seen plenty of horror movies that go like this. Texas Chainsaw Massacre comes up to mind. And if you're in a place that's in the middle of nowhere, or as far away from civilization and from help as possible, 1, do not go. 2, if you do go, do not go to the basement.
Stupid ass idea. I just summed it up for you today.
Yeah. And as it turns out, John Bond's wife is basically doing most of the cooking. And as she basically eats the guy's head. Okay, another reviewer brought this up. If she ate his head, why is his face on the burger? As he races back toward the lobby, Ian tries to get used to it. As to leave. If John Bond notices as that he's eating and decides and bring him down to meet his wife, which results in a chase scene with some pretty interesting music. And just as when he corners Kurt, as the dog willingly he pulls out an ironing board which clonks him on the head. And as it turns out, his wife literally wants to eat Courage. Again, there's something completely wrong with his concept. And Courage basically runs down the street, screaming and bloody murder.
Like he usually does in everyone, but
He gets out safe.
yes.
Meanwhile, cut back to the restaurant. Turns out that John Bond and his wife have been cooking up burger statues, including in Eustace and their customer. And we end the episode with her. They're saying that she would still like to eat Courage. And we hear Courage scream. Even as she winks to the camera, Iris out.
But the lesson of this one is think about others before you put yourself.
Well, no, this is one of the few episodes where Eustace gets off scot-free.
Yeah.
Unlike number 3, which is Ball of Revenge. Now, this one definitely shows how dark Eustace can be. Mostly because Courage it's something Eustace doesn't.
Tension.
And because of this, he calls up all of Courage's last enemies, which include the following. Or, switch hands. Cats, the Queen from the Black Puddle, the Weremole, the Clutching Foot, Gang, the Cajun Fox, the Quack, and I think that's all of them. Yeah, that's all of them. And basically they come up
Wait,
with
no, there's one more. It's the big toe.
Yeah, that's what I said, the Clutching Foot.
Oh, well, Weremole Lee? The Weremole?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got all of them.
There's one more, but I won't say until the end. And they try and come up with an idea to destroy the stupid dog. Eustace somehow comes up with the idea. Well, if we're gonna get Courage, we might as well take care of Muriel first. There's knowing the dog will probably save her. That'll be the perfect opportunity. Basically, they abduct Muriel, chain her up and threaten to basically ruin her laundry. She calls down Courage.
Oh my god, that's the worst nightmare for Grandma.
Apparently this does work. They fall straight into their trap. Now, there are 2 things wrong with this episode, and other reviewers covered this. I'll rephrase it. The Cajun Fox and the Clutching Foot Gang have already been defeated. In fact, they've already been destroyed. The Foot Gang went out of existence. The Cajun Fox cooked. Cats has reappeared in other episodes. It's Queen from the Black Puddle was supposed to be trapped for all eternity in her own hell. The Weremole, we never saw much of it again. And basically, being the gentlemanly sort, Cats basically, he says, before dying, let's play the whole game, which is dodgeball. And they really give Courage a run for his money relentlessly. It's already unfair because it's 5-1. Well, 9 if you count the other toes. Those in the Foot Gang. And refereeing in the game is Quack. He's been in just as many episodes as Cats. That's why isn't he part of it? And where are the other supporting characters Courage has met along the way? Like the Hunchback out of nowhere, the shadow thing, Bigfoot, but just to name a few. Hell, even the Scarecrow could probably do it. And just as it turns out, our Courage is about to die. And Mariota asks him, what can he do that they can't? What else but scream? And he apparently screams so loud that it causes an earthquake in the basement, which basically he engulfs all the villains, except for Eustace. And it's punished by getting what he wanted in the first place.
Attention.
No, you want it, and the quilt. Oh, she made for Courage. He gets to sleep on the quilt. Oh, while Courage relaxes in his chair. And now we come to my favorite part. Courage turns on the TV, and you won't believe who's on it.
We said this at the same time.
Freaky.
Fred. You know.
Take two.
Alright, 1, 2, 3.
Freaky Fred. Yeah, where on earth was he?
Yeah, what the hell?
Wait, that's right. He's in a mental asylum away from Courage. That's a good thing too, because he probably would have shaved cats, and the Queen. But still, wow, that's another nail in the head, guys. Now, I'll explain number 2, because this one has a lot of symbolism in it. Don't bother. I don't look this one up, Elayna.
I'm looking at number 1.
And it's The Mask. Now, it's not the Jim Carrey film or that other Mask movie. The Mask is about this girl who wears this creepy looking mask to hide her face. And she basically beats up Courage because, well, he's a dog. Now, one of the methods of symbolism in this episode is men being referred to as dogs. Yeah, this is kind of a feminist episode if you think about it. As it turns out, well, the girl's best friend was dating this gangster, and kind of felt on the wrong side of the tracks, literally. And because the gangster threatened her life, the girl can never see her again, and thus has to hide her face. As it turns out, the girl is actually a cat.
That's a shocker.
And her friend is a rabbit.
But cats kill, like wild cats.
And the gangsters, of course, are dogs.
Dating dog. That is... What?
I know.
Cat dating dog.
Yeah, so we already have our 3 symbolists here. Feminism, abuse, and let's see. What was the other one? Those are the only 2 I can think of. Never mind. Basically, it's up to Courage to set things right.
Like
Of course.
Is.
He does this by locking in Kitty, in a way that's her name, of course. There's how original. Oh, in the upstairs attic. And while he goes to sit with her friend. And you won't believe what her name is.
Rabbit.
No.
Bunny.
Yes. And the gangster, Mad Dog.
Mad J, just kidding.
Seriously, guys, can't you come up with original names for these kind of
I
characters?
know. Kitty.
You only have a villain named Cats. It's Ingla Quack.
And end of their toe. Seriously. Seriously. They need to get more names. Better names than they have now. Because the names they have now are really crappy.
I can't say anything else more about this episode because it'll be somewhat similar to another reviewer's version of this episode. Let's just move on to number 1.
Drum roll.
The Tower of Dr. Zalost.
Okay, so I can help them with this one. So, Zalost is... Well, Zalost is he's Dr. Zalost. He is speaking to the mayor of Nowhere, demanding
$33 billion.
Thank you. Anyway,
Well, that's what he says.
I know, for its unhappy cannonballs. The Cannonballs Project. The mayor laughs it off, and Zalost threatens to use Nowhere as research if they don't pay, which would make the citizens
Already unhappy.
very unhappy.
We just raised the taxes.
I know. So the mayor counters by saying they were already unhappy due to recent increase in taxes. Zalost and tells Zalost if he tries to bamboozle them again, he'll be thrown into jail for kicking him out. Okay, Zalost unleashes the cannonballs on Nowhere, leaving everyone aside from the mayor and his admirers too gibberish to it. So
Literally turns him gray.
Zalost demands the mayor subsequently
Reluctantly agrees.
yes, and Zalost yields to Zalost demands, but Zalost refuses to reverse the effect since the money failed to make him happy. At the bag bar, Courage is helping out with her happy plums, supposedly making anyone happy. Grandpa is impatient and, and he reports the news about the attacks from Zalost. Zalost's
Nothing
tower.
real much is going on right now. I feel like going to bed. Yeah, a bunch of lazy monkeys.
So Grandpa goes and tries to get the newspaper himself. The only discovery that none have been printed. Okay, on his way back to the farm, Grandpa encounters Zalost's tower blocking the road and honks at him for having it parked in the road. Drawing Zalost's attention, Zalost reluctantly follows Grandpa to the farm and unleashes his cannonballs, which have no effect on Grandpa.
Because he's already miserable and ornery.
Courage manages to evade the cannonballs, but Grandma is struck and falls into depression. Oh crap, Grandma's sad. So after failing many times, Courage infiltrates the tower with bit help from Grandpa. Courage sees a large room containing mountains of cannonballs lining the room along with a giant cauldron filled.
Basically, kind of acts like a popcorn machine.
Anyway, so in the middle of these balls are green. Shut up. In the middle of the cannonballs are filled with green liquids that make people unhappy. Um, a rat being hit by a cannonball attacks Courage and goes into a monstrous rat who leaps at Courage. Courage slings some of near Grandma's happy plums into his mouth, changing him into a harmless baby rat.
Why that turn back to normal though?
Long damn episode. So basically what happens is Courage finds a cure by using happy plums to cure the town. He gives happy plums to everyone and everyone's happy again. Well, except Grandpa. He's always depressed. He's always so damn depressed. Anything to add on that?
Actually, quite a bit. First, I would like to say the Tower of Dr. Zalost is the only half-hour episode that actually takes up the entire show. And as for the tower itself, yeah, it is actually very creative. A tower that's able to move on tank treads and spider legs. As for Zalost himself, his way of thinking is basically, if I'm not happy, no one's going to be happy. Unless we got a little bit of backstory into why he's always unhappy, it still doesn't kind of work. And the one thing you may have kind of forgot to mention before Courage cures everybody is that Zalost basically traps him in a rope jacket with a cannon freaking aimed at him. And like with cats, he gives Courage a chance to survive if he can beat him at a game. What's the game, you might ask? Hangman.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, a four-letter word before the cannon goes off. And no, it's not the words you think they are. And of course, like in Wheel of Fortune, it's just to buy a vowel. Well, the only vowels that's available in the word are O's, and there are two of them. Right next to each other, actually.
Cannon? No, that's not for letters. Thinking again. Yes, I am solving this on a piece of paper because I am a retard. Okay, so which two of them were O's?
The middle.
Just the middle? Okay. See. Boom?
Yes.
Whee! I found it out! I'm not a retard!
You think Courage cheat? He did him. Why are you serious, dude? After Courage throws in the happy plums, which turns the green liquid pink, thus releasing pink cannonballs, which turns everybody back to normal. Well, this, however, makes the tower collapse upon itself. As Courage and the new reformed rat baby, they run straight towards the house. There's Zalost right behind them. And he's got one unhappy cannonball and throws it towards Courage. Apparently, Eustace has been in the closet most of the episode, looking for his mallet. Once he gets it, for some odd reason, and the cannonball now has an effect on him. This time, just turning him into a sculpture of ash. I'm sorry, so I don't know. And as it turns out, Zalost loses his misery after eating the happy plums. Again, if they brought some backstory to this character, or I would buy it. But the reason why it's this at number one mostly is because of the soundtrack to it. Which does kind of end up sounding ominous in a way. Well, I hope you all enjoy in this list. This kind of took a little more work than I expected.
I'm sorry I'm being a retard. I'm sorry I was a retard on that because I don't know anything on the show. But I did know a little. I think we both decided that if you like me on here, then you can put in the comments below a thumbs up. You literally write thumbs up, thumbs down, and my brother will tally the marks. And if you guys decide. So if you like me on, then we will do a better video next time. I promise. I will know things. But this was an old show, and he's been around longer than I have. So I'm not saying he's old, but he's been around longer than I have.
And now for the surprise is I've been waiting for so long to say. I have recently learned that the creators are going to remake Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Really?
Yes. But instead of their traditional style, they're going to make it CGI.
Interesting.
There's already a teaser for it right on YouTube.
There is?
Yeah.
I'm not doing something.
Tune in next time as I go over another obscure TV show. In its entirety. No, I am steering clear of ScumBob.
ScumBob. Oh, good. Because ScumBob is stupid.
You heard it, folks. And I am not looking forward to the second SpongeBob movie. But to give you a hint of what I'm going to be reviewing next, I will say this though. It is from Nickelodeon. It was canceled after its second season.
Doing?
What?
No, I just realized what it is, I think. Maybe. I'm not saying it right.
Why not?
I don't know, I'm just gonna guess. Let's see here. Canceled after its second season, so let's see. Oh damn, that was me. Why did that on? Those breadwinners?
And I think that's still going on.
Oh. Sandra and Greg is still going on. Let's see here. Well, to cover there's SpongeBob, Sandra and Greg, Spreaders, but SpongeBob is done for now. The other two are still going.
No, SpongeBob's still going. They're making an 11th season.
Why?
Exactly why.
I haven't watched Nickelodeon. Well, on our TV, Nickelodeon's not on. It's just Sprout Channel now. I haven't seen Nickelodeon in a while. Let me see here. The only shows that I've seen on there so far is those three.
I will give one last hint. And this series is I've recently rewatched on YouTube, and it does feature one style of animation that many of us have overlooked.
Okay.
With that being said, this is Demon091 saying I'll see you in the next video. And if you know what I am referring to, by all means put it in the comment section below.
Bye.
Oh, and one last thing. And where's that clip? me report on my apps.
I don't know, nothing.
Oh, it's a update for YouTube.
Anyways.
1 second, folks. Actually, I'm gonna leave you guys off with a sound clip. No.
I know what it is. I'm telling you now, I know what it is, and it's
And I've covered this in my creepypasta list.
find the cousin. Yes, you have.
Hello, new friend. My name is Fred. The words you're hearing are in my head. I said, my name is Fred, and I've been very naughty. The story I'm about to tell, I tell you, I will tell it well, is of my dear Aunt Muriel, and just how I've been naughty. Voila, the farm, my aunt lives here, with precious pup and husband dear. My heart beats fast as I drew near. I felt so nice and naughty. I thought just how excited they must be that I would come today. They'd shout, "Come Fred, huzzah, hooray! Dear boy, you look so naughty." But when my tired eyes beheld
something to
a
do
doggy
that.
dog, like dog he smelled. D-O-G is what he spelled, and that's how I spell naughty. Alone was I with tender courage, and all his fur, his furry furage, which I they
What?
say did encourage me to be quite naughty. Courage, your hair, it reminds me of the first time I knew just how I felt about hair. It was a day I'd not forget, the day that I first met my pet. Oh, what a lovely gift to get. I'd never felt so naughty. My fuzzy friend is what he was, this darling little ball of fuzz. And oh, such fuzz it does, demand that I be naughty. He looked at me, his fetching eyes, and fetching fur did hypnotize, and filled with joy and filled with sighs. And that's when I got naughty. Now, you shouldn't play in the toilet. This
Shut up.
drooping hair, this droopy curl, unfolds sweet memories of a girl whose tresses, oh, they twist and twirl, and tempt me to be naughty. Barbara, my love, was named, and her fair hair a mane untamed, until one evening I'm ashamed I got a little naughty. The look upon
What?
my
I'm gonna do that
love's
every time he says
face,
it.
as sweet as lace,
Why do you
but
think
in
I'm
this
doing that
case,
face every time he
I
does it?
realized she needed space, and never more was naughty. Well, maybe not ever. Dear cur, your fur and fleece remind of nothing found in humankind, but for one fellow who did find me to be in a certain mood. Into my shop he walked one day, with bush above and beard bouquet. That's no toupee, I pray, no way. I couldn't help be such hair before. His bangs, they sang, then his neck, it beckoned. Eyebrows, armpits, all were reckoned. Soon I figured what the heck, and guess how I was naughty. Sweet pooch, afraid I'll shave your tail? Why not? That would be weird. So ends our little story. But then my landlords did resume to free me from that porcelain tomb, and ferry to a private room, your hero ever Doughty. Goodbye, dear aunt, I'll miss your farm, and Eustace's jubilant charm, and farewell courage, what's the harm, if I was slightly naughty. With love, Fred.
Naughty. That was creepy, man.
Whatever.